The Okotoks Lower School was a two-story brick school built in 1900 at the foot of the hill on McRae Street. It served the community for 70 years, teaching generations of students reading, writing, and arithmetic. The school brings back a host of pleasant memories for some students, and perhaps not so pleasant memories for others. In this video tour of our lower school exhibit, we will share some of the fabulous memories of students who attended there.
Well, I've got a lot of memories. I don't know if you want to.
That was Betty Sparrow, nee Stagg, who shared her memories of the school in a 2003 oral history interview.
This one little boy, he would have a gopher trap over in the field and then have this long rope come up into the window, and every once in a while, I've got one, and he would go running out of the room down to get his gopher. And that was in the lower school.
The Okotoks history book, A Century of Memories, is teeming with memories of the school, like this one from Jim Miller. Quote, "I remember the good things best, like the time I was up a tree and the school teacher looking up at me, scolding me, I suppose. I dropped a magpie egg down his neck. He was wearing a white shirt." End quote. Or this memory from Malcolm McGugan. Quote, "Out west of town there is a large hill which used to be alive with garter snakes. We boys would rush out there after school and gather snakes by the pockets full. Snakes were fun. We took them to school, chiefly to frighten the girls, and usually ended up getting strapped." End quote. Oh, the strap. Students seem to remember the strap, or the threat of the strap, more than anything else. Here's a great memory from Patricia Balderson, nee Kaufman, who moved to Okotoks in 1936 and shared this story in a 2002 oral history interview.
I think it was the spring we moved to Okotoks, so I went from having a very dear grade 1 teacher to having Miss Quinn in Okotoks, and it was a terrible shock. Okay. I used to come home and tell my mom if I ever came home crying, she'd know I got the strap, and I was in tears practically every night, but I didn't get the strap. I just figured I was going to.
Audrey Johnston, nee McNeil, also recalls getting the strap in this story from the history book. Quote, "I went to school in Okotoks and got the strap once from Miss Metcalf in grade 2. I remember it and the reason for it very well. Ralph Cameron called me a bloomin' Dutchman, and I hit him on the head with my ruler." End quote. Getting the strap was just one of the ways that corporal punishment was administered. Students may have also had to write lines on the blackboard, stand in the corner, or wear the dreaded dunce cap. Another student who attended the lower school was Evelyn Johnson, nee Patterson, who shares this memory from an oral history interview in 2002.
Miss Metcalf taught us in grade 2, and she taught me how to knit. Miss Wilson, she taught me in grade probably 3. I had Miss McKay in grade 4, and I was absolutely terrified of her. But anyway, she failed me, and I had to take her another year. And Miss Quinn, I had Miss Quinn.
For many students, the first introduction to the Okotoks Lower School was grade 1 teacher Bessie Quinn, whose teaching career spanned 50 years. Quote, "In Okotoks, Miss Quinn was both a teacher and an institution," writes Kay Hemus in the Okotoks history book. Not only was Miss Quinn Kay's first grade teacher, but she was also her husband Cliff's teacher and then both her children's teacher. Charlie and Alice Visser's family consisted of 2 sets of twins, just 18 months apart. They all started grade 1 together. According to John Visser, one of the twins, quote, "Mother had high hopes and big ambitions that we would all go through school, then normal school, and become teachers. We all started grade 1 the same day with Miss Bessie Quinn as our teacher. Mother's dreams were short-lived. We all contracted 2 kinds of measles, scarlet fever, and chicken pox, with extensive quarantine periods. In addition, I suffered a broken leg while playing Ring Around the Rosie with the girls. After finally convincing Miss Quinn that I was indeed in pain, she phoned my mother, who got Don Eastcott to drive us to Calgary, where Dr. Charles Boak set the fracture." End quote. As John mentioned, Ring Around the Rosie was a popular schoolyard game. Other games included Run Sheep Run, Red Light, Green Light, Duck on the Rock, Hide and Seek, and Paper Chase. Students, of course, also got their exercise walking to and from school. Evelyn Patterson and her sisters Doris, Beatrice, and Thelma walked to school from their home on the west side of town.
4 of us girls lived in the little house. We used to have to walk from there to the little school, which is where the courthouse is. We had an hour for lunch, and we weren't allowed to bring sandwiches or any lunch. We had to walk to school and walk home and walk to school and walk home. And regardless of how cold it was. And at that time, we couldn't wear slacks. We had to wear those terrible lisle stockings and long underwear. And it was fun.
Oh, the good old days. If you have any memories of the Okotoks Lower School that you would like to share, we'd love to hear from you.